seen a post. I seen a post by Wack 100 and Wack 100. What he did was dope. Not Wack, but Hocus45. My bad, Hocus45. Hocus45 the post, and he was singing about is he feel like Wack 100 is attempting to justify um 6ix9ine situation to the public. And you know, a lot of people feel the way they feel about the 6ix9ine situation because how he was treated. We seen from what the public knows. Plus, the federal case. Wack 100 is doing what I say, but I remember. I don't know what else has happened in the lifetime that I've known hip hop, but Wack 100, he reminds me of what Suge Knight did for Tupac. When Tupac was locked up and he had them charges, the attempt situation that Pac had, rest in peace, Tupac, he was able to change the narrative of why, salute, you already know Chicago finest. I remember on Rikers Island, I remember all this. You know what I'm saying? I was on Rikers Island. I may not be going to the box and cutting nothing, but I was at HCM 2 block. Shout out to Troy Moore and all of them, you know what I'm saying? Um, so, shout out to Queens. And exactly. So what happened is, we knew what Tupac was locked up for. Now there's an alleged story how Gina was popping. There is an alleged story where somebody that was related to Tupac told him about who assassins who tried to kill him. The stick-up situation, who was involved. I remember I was on Rikers Island. I had the Sony headphones listening to the, you know what I'm saying? And I remember, I think there was a weekend when Flavor, somebody took over Hot 97. It was a promotional weekend, and Tupac allegedly called. I'm gonna say allegedly because we have a bunch of people. I didn't even remember that. I don't remember. So I'm gonna say alleged. Yo. Marcos Rios was popping. Who was? Every shots from man, DJ Suave, his brother Rob Star, Buez. Every shot to 183 in my block, building 183 99 Lex. You know what I'm saying? Debbie Marcos, get your bread, Fred. You know what I'm saying? I'm always here. I got the content up. You can see it anytime you want. Debbie salute to Marcos Rios. What You Jackin's in the building. Another great conversation that I had with What You Jackin podcast. So we having a great dialogue about this, right? And definitely shout out to What You Jackin podcast. He sent me actually the information about the Hocus thing. So I'm gonna put What You Jackin podcast on the title as well. So we had a deep conversation, and it was good because it was like things from our memory. So I remember when Tupac called 97 and said about who he felt set him up. Now he could have said it was the guys like the Tuts and whoever alleged, but he went for the bigger fish. The biggest hip hop artist at that time in New York was Biggie Smalls. So it was a grab. It was a media grab. You know what I'm saying? An East Coast, West Coast rap beat. So now how we blogging, the big bloggers back then was XL Magazine, The Source, you know what I'm saying? The Source. So those are the major bloggers that we was following. So the Vibe Magazine. So we read these publications about this East Coast, West Coast, and they said Pac up, nobody thought about the charges that Tupac was in jail for. So that out of nowhere, Suge Knight allegedly volunteers to bail Tupac out of jail, whatever, some appeals bill, whatever the case may be. So while Pac is locked up, when he was locked up for the case in Clinton, Max, wherever he was at, nobody looked at him for what he was actually in jail for. He was considered a honorable street individual, still from the block. John Bell was popping. Tupac Shakur. But the narrative was created that Biggie Smalls, because they used the media. They used the media to create this new Biggie Smalls, like they said, Pac up, forget what he's actually in jail for, forget the victim. You know what I'm saying? I remember watching the Soul Train Awards and Queen Latifah actually shouted Tupac out, free Tupac. So even though Tupac might have been in jail for something that sounded crazy, even though he didn't do it, but allegedly he went to jail for what some other individuals did to him. Now, you know what I'm saying? He actually won in the situation, but he went too far in the character. And of course, rest in peace, Tupac. He began to believe that he was Bishop, Don Juan Magic in the same tissue. You know what I'm saying? Tupac Shakur. What Wack, I think, is doing is he's going from another angle because he's using YouTube bloggers. He's using the IG bloggers. He's using even if we got 2 followers, he's using your to give people another mindset of the 6ix9ine situation. He's using public opinion. Now you already know public opinion feels like 90% might feel that 6ix9ine was done wrong, and 60%. But what he's using is he's really using the public opinion, and then he's flipping it around into this gang thing. I heard something crazy where he's basically saying like the New York Bloods and the Crips is fake and this, that, and the third. But we know he's gonna go that angle because those are different angles you can hit. So other markets will be like, well, it was all fake anyway. You know what I'm saying? But in this generation, with guys going to the federal penitentiary, a lot of West Coast homies have come to embrace, or Midwest homies, or Northwest homies, or Southwest homies have come to a time where they've learned to embrace New York. Something, you know what I'm saying? On New York time, you know what I'm saying? Wack is very strategic, smart, you know what I'm saying? And he's really going hard with this, and that's why he had to pick somebody. So he had to pick, they got the one New York street rapper that's connected to the streets. It could be anybody, but Jim Jones has a connection to what's going on in the streets because he's claiming what's going on now in the streets. He out his own mouth. I'm 9 trade to the death of me. So now you see you 9 trade to the death of me, it brings out a angle for Wack to use. Yo, he's soft, blah, blah, boom. Yo, he this, he that. And then, it didn't help that Mel Matrix looked like Mel Matrix was defending Jimmy. So that just didn't help. So now, the new narrative is Jimmy's a snitch, and bloggers are actually blogging on this. Like, yeah, do you think Jimmy snitched because of this? Do you think Jimmy snitched because of that? Because the paperwork was there. He said super violate. People see things and read things from different angles. Every time. I might tell you something and you might look at it totally different from your angle than how I just said it to you. You might say something to me that I might look at from a different angle. Even though what you said to me might have made 100% sense, I might look at it like, nah, you wild, son. So, Wack, we understand what you're doing. You're creating a narrative that, public opinion. Because you're really talking to the fans. And you're probably talking to a couple of individuals on a bigger scale that's looking at like, yo, that New York thing is crazy. We don't really know what's going on in New York. We don't want to get caught up in New York politics. So a lot of other markets is just sitting back watching. But as they're watching, they're going, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? As a collective, I don't know about you know what I'm saying? They're making this a whole, you know what I'm saying? It's going to the fact of, I'll give you a good example. When La Brim did the situation with the CJ guy, he got a bigger reaction to La Brim from that. Even though we know that he didn't come up with Whoopty. We already know that Suwu, whoever that is, was created on the West or the South, or wherever it was created at. You know what I'm saying? But he made it fashionable in New York City. And it worked for him because he was able to use that. La Brim. Like, yo, but that's what we made popular in our land, and that's a popular lingo in the clubs. Whoopty. And it worked. And I think now that La Brim ain't complaining no more, I'm pretty sure La Brim got a bag. You know what I'm saying? He got something to shut him up. Okay, you got a good point right there. Because we don't want to destroy public opinion about CJ. Because it's bigger than New York with them. See, one thing about this Midwest rap, I noticed that these Midwest rappers and these South rappers, they're all somewhat connected to something. So when you connect them to something, it's like, that's why they portray the images that they portray, because in these markets it's a little more different. They bang different. They pop off different. They put in work different. It's a different mentality. They do, well, at one point they did different drugs than us, but now all of a sudden we on a type of time where dudes is popping, the pills and the Xannies, and you know what I'm saying? They probably was doing it in my generation, but it wasn't as it is now. Because that's the new end thing. Xannies, tight jeans, diabetic Deodoras. Now, this ain't no hate mail towards the youth, because this is just honest public opinion. A lot of you young boys, y'all don't care. You know what I'm saying? Y'all listen to what y'all listen to, and y'all really don't care. know what I'm saying? Coming out of New York, man. You know what I'm saying? We missed the ball on what Suge Knight did with Tupac. Remember, Tupac album when he came out of jail went 5 platinum. What guy who had charges like Tupac was able to survive? Michael Jackson, to the day he died, was going through scrutiny. You know what I'm saying? To the day he died. Rest in peace, Michael Jackson, over the allegations that he was going through. Tupac didn't. They basically said Tupac died over something in Vegas, some gangbanging, over gangs, blood and Crips activity, jumping somebody. So he was never, because Suge Knight was able to use the bloggers, change the narrative through the media, and it worked, bro. Timing is everything. I tell y'all all the time on my platform, timing is everything. It worked out, right? I'm going to tell you when the timing worked out, right? Somebody put something up, an outpour that was alleged to be at this guy's party. That was the beginning of the end. That's when somebody sat back, and who knows, because academics, he does business with Wack 100 when it comes to these younger artists. So they probably had an idea, like, yo, I got this podcast, and know if Alpo can be at Jim Jones' party, why can't you interview 6ix9ine? Even though Alpo wasn't at his party, but Jimmy's not saying nothing. So let's go. So now there's 2 different narratives. There's a promotion. Think about it. After that Alpo thing, and they call Alpo, and he says he wasn't there, and all these other platforms that says he wasn't there. Yo, I wasn't there. Now the cheese is coming in. Before, basically, versus time. We're gonna start promoting, yo, Wack 100's doing an interview with 6ix9ine. Now the verses just made it worse. Because what came out the verses was the internet trolling and disrespecting, Harlem disrespecting them. And that was the prime time for them to stick it at him. Now, Wack 100 was already on go with the defensive, but he's not stupid. He plays calculated, smart moves. So even though he knew 6ix9ine was going to talk crazy about Jimmy, he like, nah, chill, nah, we got to do all that. But Jimmy reacted and took it out on Wack, which Wack was expecting already. So he already had, as soon as they come at me crazy, I'm going to come at them. And because it's been a bad month for them, this is how public opinion changes. I have not seen one person make a video about Jim Jones that's on a higher platform that said anything good about the man in the last 2 weeks. Except Queen's Flip, because that's their people. No other blogger has said, nah, Jimmy's a real one. Nah, Jimmy can't tell. I have not seen that one. You feel me? So this is what I mean about dudes having their shit together. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? It was good, player. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I haven't, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen one yet. You know what I'm saying? So now public opinion changes. When you turn on YouTube, which is the new Source magazine SXL, all you see is Jim Jones. Now, shout out to JT Towers. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm talking slow right now. Shout out to JT Towers, because, he brings a lot of good, because he was in the industry, you know what I'm saying? So he's been around the entertainment parties. He's been there with the greatest rap, you know what I'm saying? He's been around these dudes, you know what I'm saying? He know the behind the scenes stuff that a lot of us don't talk about. He just don't bring to the media, because he did a lot of hip hop videos with real budgets, not just take $400 to do a video for me. He actually did big budget projects, you know what I'm saying? We talking about budgets where you get the actual permits, not just, we call them bootleg videos where you just post up on a legal block and take a video. We talking about when he shut the block down. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the 40 Wolves, you know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna say is, for the party people that's out here, that's from New York. There's nobody really defending Jimmy, like I said, except Queen's Flip, which is only right because that's a friend of his, you know what I'm saying? Matrix. So now, as days go on, public opinion is changing, because remember, there's so much out there about them. The Alpo situation, the verses, and now this. What I mean about changing the perception of him is 6ix9ine is the bag. And now you got dudes that probably was like, yo, we respect the rules, are not respecting the rules. You understand what I'm saying? They're not respecting the rules. So you get dudes that's respecting the rules, they see things just a little different. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Young Forever. You know, me being from New York and understanding New York, man, I seen this happen with Biggie with that Tupac. We seen it. I was in jail when Pac was in jail. He had that attempt such charge. The change people talk about Tupac was when he said the situation about he felt Biggie Smalls set him up. He said that in the penitentiary on Rikers Island. That was a phone call he made from jail. You don't think Suge put him up to that? You don't think somebody, a publicist or a PR work, they got to change the story on you? This is around the time when Biggie Smalls, what he did have Who Shot You. Because what they played on Hot 97 at that time was Mary J. and Meth, when he did the video on the roof. You know what I'm saying? Glaciers of Ice by Raekwon the Chef. They was playing that on Hot 97. The Beanie Babies, whatever they was playing them. I'm just giving you some gymnastics what was being played on the radio. And on the Make It to Break It, they had Dear Mama. Talking about Tupac Shakur on the Make It to Break It was on Dear Mama. So when Pac said that the media was out to shut him down, like Funk Flex, who at that time was the network for DJs because he was so hot. A lot of smaller markets used to follow his rotation in hip-hop on the Atlantic coast. I can't say for LA or Chicago, which are big hip-hop markets, or Dallas. I can say on the Atlantic coast from here to Atlanta, it was a lot of DJs followed Funkmaster Flex path. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So he had to change the narrative. So now people, yo, what, Biggie? Yo, who told Pac that? Yo, Pac cousin that's from uptown or somewhere he's from, he told him that. Boom. Think about this. Pac came home and went 5 platinum, was a superstar with the charges he had, and was able to flip that. The charges never came up again, and the people some of the participants that he had beef with, all he did was call them rats and soft and suckers in his songs. But 90% of his beef was with Biggie Smalls. He used that. But Biggie wasn't stupid, but it was too late. Because Biggie, what's going on here? How do I become the new narrative? How am I the bad guy? How is there some artists from New York going to the West Coast and they getting beat on, or they getting jumped, or dudes just flexing on them after the party? Over the only guilty part of association that Biggie had was he happened to be in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's how Big looked at it. Rest in peace, allegedly Biggie Smalls. You know what I'm saying? But this is what Wack 100 is doing, in my eyes. He's trying to change the narrative, man. And it's working. That's why he keeps talking about it every day. I guess in Clubhouse yesterday, he was going in on Jim Jones, California time. So people wake up early in the morning, And I'm going to tell you something. The reason why 21 Savage is stepping up, that's 21 Savage, he's cool with Mad New York cats that's in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you only seen Atlanta, Georgia, you'll know what I'm talking about. So he has love for some dudes from New York that's like, yo, Mel Matrix is my man. He might have even had a relationship with Mel Matrix, but he's not telling the world that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of dudes, you know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised who's cool with dudes from out of New York. Because I'm going to be honest with you, Brooklyn cats got that Atlanta scene on lock. You got to pay attention. Now, you know what I'm saying? When you hear D Brown, what his name is, he's talking about, yo, what's up with BK Supreme and them, those are dudes out of Brooklyn. Out of Brownsville. These are the same dudes that you see that was sitting around Styles P and them at that Versus. But you gotta be in the know, bro. A lot of y'all dudes, it's not about none of you dudes is paying attention to the scenery. You know what I'm saying? Medici played a large part to that. He created a way to keep a bag in his pocket. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know why 21. So everybody's gonna why 21 Savage losing his mind on the 6ix9ine situation, because how you don't know he's not in the loop? He's in the mix of something. He's just speaking now because a lot of them other dudes are just playing in the background. Got a lot of dudes in the background who don't care about 6ix9ine. Like, we don't care about him. We never cared about him. That was Shotty bag, not our bag. We wasn't touching that. So we don't care. We can care less. Yeah, bro. But you gotta know. You gotta know what's on the scene there. You know, I can't tell you all this personally. I got a call one time for something allegedly that was going on in St. Louis with some cats that was coming through. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to blow it up, but son still came through, but he went through other options. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, son. But the dudes that's doing it, they not. These dudes aren't blooded Crips. I mean, they might have been affiliated with that. They got their own movement, but they're strong. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear 21 Savage talking, he's talking for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? Because he might have been around. You'd be surprised who dudes is around. I talk to dudes at ATL all the time, man. All the time. That's really around dudes, man. Yeah, I'm gonna be around dudes that be around dudes. The dudes that created that, you already know, you're forever young, the OGs of all that. You know what I'm saying? The OGs of all that, man. That's why I say, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times y'all be seeing, yo, this looks crazy because dudes is looking at this guy like he bugging. That's why son said what he said. Certain dudes pull up on certain dudes. Like Wack said, yo, when you come to LA, you be with me. That's what dudes do. All right, you go to New York, I'll pull up on you guys. I'm going to the strip club. I need a couple of good angry individuals to walk around all day so nobody try me. You know what I'm saying? This is just classic New York talk. I sit back, man, and I sit back, and you know, I hear and I hear and I hear and I hear, but these dudes can't, like I told you, dudes know individuals from the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? Somebody knew some in the street, but dudes don't really be, everybody got their own mix. Everybody got their own mix with certain people. I might know somebody from playing basketball with them. I might know somebody from doing this and doing that. It's what level you are coming from. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Yeah, bro. Oh, man. Like, I remember there was a homie they called in Brooklyn called the 1090 Blood. I think he got assassinated in East New York, Brooklyn, allegedly, like the late 90s. I think they called him 1090 Blood. You know what I'm saying? That's when that crime family shit was running around the Bammies. You know what I'm saying? If you've been to East New York, you know what I'm saying? That be shout out to my man Smitty Brim. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, man, like I said, I don't know who knows who and how they know them. I just know how I know people. And I understand the circles and the cliques. There's a lot of behind the scenes dudes, no? Yeah, they already know that, bro. Bro, it's because it's a bag. That's a bag. We changed public opinion on him. Other dudes are falling in line. Like, wait a minute, this guy really is a bag, man. F the other dudes. And that's where Wack is getting at now. Like, yo, F them other dudes. You know what I'm saying? They don't mean nothing. They're a small percentage of what we're doing. We got dudes that's around us that don't even F with them dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes ain't nobody in their town. Why are we gonna stop? Why are we gonna stop our millions for people that dudes that's not even respected in their city? You know what I'm saying? They don't know. The average out of town are like, yo, he threw his flag on the floor. Somebody would have died. Even though these guys know each other from a versus, but the streets is like, yo, he went crazy on him. Yo, he called them this and that and that. Other markets, you can't do that because out here, a lot of these young boys is dying over battle raps. A lot of they beefs is hip hop beefs. You know what I'm saying? One dude in the crew rapping, talking crazy about the other crew. You heard? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, before I punch into this mighty clock, man, that's just what I think. I think he's just pulling the Tupac. There might be, y'all can feel what y'all want to feel. I just feel he's trying to change the public opinion about 6ix9ine, and everybody go, let's get to the bag and F what New York, with those, I see what they're saying is, they're not saying F all New York, they're just saying F them. You feel what I'm saying? They're not saying F all New York, so the rest of New York is like, as long as you don't put us in that, I don't care. Articulate it right. Use the right wording. You know what I'm saying? Bet. As long as Wack use the right words, you take it to the top. You rising to the top. You heard? But you got to know the scene, because Atlanta is really the new New York scene. Dudes go from Brooklyn, middle of the projects, to go to Atlanta and get right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you a perspective, man. People are respecting that line. They're calling them. They're not calling, they're calling them. Not just, they calling it a cruise like them. Yo, what's poppin', was good. Yo, my artists coming to do it, yeah, all weekend long. I bet, yeah, it'll be good, son. These are the dudes you don't see in the background. You know what I'm saying? When you see certain dudes, they go into certain parts because, yo, we need you to pull up with the line. So best definitely, Hocus45 is right. But Hocus, this is why he's doing it, Hocus. He's doing it because he's trying to change public opinion, in my eyes, like Suge Knight did with Tupac. When was the last time somebody actually called Tupac out for what he actually went to jail for? Even though he ain't do nothing, nobody never called him out. When you talk about Tupac, but you say East Coast, West Coast, him and Biggie Smalls. Shout out to my man Shaquille, shout out to Mr. White Bills. This the OGs that was outside, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This the OGs, you know what I'm saying? That just no common sense. You know what I'm saying? Just the older guys that also know common sense, even though they might have did jail time. You know what I'm saying? They didn't understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They paying attention to what's going on. They just sitting in the cut going, there might be a bag here. I'm minding my business. You know what I'm saying? I speak out about it right behind the scenes. I just holler at me. I'm not going to say them. There's somebody that has common sense, knows that Wack does a lot of business in New York because New York is a media market for him. Just like he does a lot of business in Chi-Town because it's a media market. We're talking about media markets that help your artists. Dudes ain't doing this to be the realest in the world. They're doing this to connect with these major markets. When you're in the music business, what are the major markets? Even Texas. Dallas is a major hip-hop market. Why you think what record label was that, man? The record label that Paul Wall and them was on. That whole movement made billions of dollars. Paul Wall, Mike Jones, the guy who had that Pac-Man song, the one that T.I. popped on. That whole movement did it. Did it for him. So Jay Prince know he's in a major market. I'm from Houston. These are major music markets. You know what I'm saying? And it worked. It was a record label that was distributed by Warner Brothers Records. It was an independent. It used to be an old rock and roll label independently that went to hip-hop and took it to the top. Jay Prince played a large part to that record deal. The label that Swisher House was signed to. It starts with an A, I think. It starts with an A. Because just when Jim Jones was the A&R for Warner Brothers. And that's why you hear a lot of Dipset in the South, because she was using his power to play their music in the Midwestern, Southwestern, all those areas. You know what I'm saying? They had a major distribution deal. Boom. And what happened? The chopper screw, because the chopper screw era always been here. It just wasn't internationally. Yeah, when you first heard 3-6 Mafia, when you heard Country Black in them, they was playing that chopper screw music back then. When they was playing Tear the Club Up, Tear the Club Up, you listen to the album, you would hear chopper screw music. What's popping? Yo, B, I'm gonna call you today. You heard of my lunch break, you heard? It's popping, it's all up, Bronx. Bronx murder in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's when Jimmy was A&R. And those was winning years for Jim Jones. Because I got fun. That record label won that year. That's the year when they had all those Texas rappers and T.I. Somebody came out, not T.I., but one of them came out and was like, yo, it took a lot to get all these rappers together because some of them had beef with each other. But Jay Prince put them all together and they was on the cover of The Source. It had that whole Houston thing. Google that about those rappers when the Texas rappers was on the cover of The Source magazine. It was that record label, bro. Paul Wall came on that. Mike Jones was on that. Rap-A-Lot had some distribution with that. I think Little Boosie was on that. Webby was on that. And who had a record deal through that was Son That Died. That's Trill Entertainment. That was Pimp C, right? All that was good, getting that distribution. Shout out to your man Jay Prince. So Jay Prince got some of that 90 hip hop, that 2000 hip hop too. They brought Chopper Screw to the world. Chopper Screw sound. They brought that to the world. You know what I'm saying? Now 3 6 Mafia wasn't on that label because they was out already. 666, but they was putting out music constantly. 666 Mafia, you heard? Now Priority is another label. It starts with an A. It starts with an A, bro. I'm gonna put it in the comments. If you write down Paul Wall, somebody Google Paul Wall's record label, the first album. It's gonna tell you what label it was. Paul Wall, Mike Jones. It's gonna tell you exactly what label it was, bro. I know it starts with an A. You know what I'm saying? Let's Google it for 2 seconds. Yo, boom. Yo, oh wow, that was that label. That label had a great year. You know what I'm saying? Now, I just Google it, bro. Paul Wall's record label first album. It's gonna say it. Everything else came beyond that. Chameleonaire and all of it. It's all part of the same record label. Yes, they became a major independent on Warner Brother Records, Asylum Records, bro. The man that put that together was Jay Prince. You know what I'm saying? The man who put that together was Jay Prince. One of the people that put that deal together. That's when Jimmy was A&R at Warner Brothers. He was winning at Warner Brothers. I don't know how he got pushed to the side. Those are the good years of Jim Jones. Jim Jones had an ear. A lot of that music that y'all was hearing from that Texas sound, Jimmy was clearing. Because he's one of the A&Rs. I don't know if he cleared their music, but he was clearing a lot of music. So when y'all think that Jimmy didn't have an impact on hip-hop, him being an A&R, if he was A&R behind a lot of the Silent Records music, that's the sound that we learned to love, bro. But you see, people that think of A&R is, we don't know what projects he was an A&R. You know what I'm saying? But I seen him in the video, though, that he did with that guy, that T.I. punched in the head. You know what I'm saying? He did a song with him, the Lucky Charm guy, whatever his name is. It was a song that was based out of Houston. So the song might have blew in Houston. You know what I'm saying? All facts. Yo, just have to Google Asylum Records. So that's when they really brought Chop and Screw to the world. Even though that Chop and Screw sound was they said who really pushed it first was DJ Screw. Rest in peace, DJ Screw, in that Houston or wherever area he was from. You know what I'm saying? Yep, Glover G's, Flip, facts. He got a song that we never heard. You know what I'm saying? That they played down south. So a lot of that Chop and Screw sound was not created, but really was being pushed to the world and motivated by DJ Screw. May that man rest in peace. And they brought that to the world. That Chop and Screw sound, it was popping. They slowed the record up, and it sounds like they on lean. That was that Chop and Screw sound. They be rapping all slow and all that. That's that Chop and Screw sound. That's the sound that I remember. That's what DJ Paul said. Yo, we play the record slow, and they be rapping over the slow beats. So while we were still doing Rakim, they was doing Chop and Screw. They created their own sound in barns and in the country houses and somebody's backyard. They created that Chop and Screw sound. That's definitely a Southern Midwestern thing. You hear me? How I know about that, Z Black? Because my good friend of mine was on a commercial station, DJ Chris Cool, who used to bring me to the record labels, and this is what they was pushing. Then who put me on the 3 6 Mafia was my man. May he rest in peace. Because he loved 3 6 Mafia. So he used to buy all their music from Project Pat, all that. So they played the Chop and Screw. I don't know if he was doing for A&R work for Sony, but he definitely did for Warner Brothers at that time. So a lot of the music that we was hearing, he was clearing, you know what I'm saying? Or at least had a voice in it if he was around for that, you know what I'm saying? So he did have an impact on hip-hop in that 2005, 2006, 2007, whatever years that he was A&R Warner Brothers. He had an impact on the sound because Paul Wall worked. Mike Jones worked. That whole Killer Chameleonaire, it worked for him. Webby first joint worked. Boosie first joint worked. Then he called it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now we're taking it back to, you know what I'm saying? That's what Jimmy needs to do. Fall back from all this, trying to look out for the streets and be Dame Dash in the block and get back to your A&R and fall back and get that sound back. You hear me? Get back into that sound, bro. With that being said, man, we know what Wack is doing. We understand you're trying to do what Shook did. What's your Jakin podcast? Thank you for, bring me up to speed again with these conversations. That's why I like building with the gods, man. I'm gonna put his name on the title. What's your Jackin again? This is another winner. Because he was outside, he was around, bro. He understands what was going on. He remembered that. Yo, I remember when that happened with Pop. I remember it. Nobody ever talked about why Pac went to jail no more. It was about the same. Some of the same guys that violated him was some of the guys that was involved with his case. They didn't even talk about them with the allegations of what happened in the hotel room. They just said that these were stick-up kids and they tried to rob Pac and he robbed the guy and got life and he's a killer and he's this, that, and that and Haitian Jack is a crosshair and this guy, you know what I'm saying? They never talked about that actual situation that led to All Eyes on Me. Remember, that song that he made, California Love, that was a Dr. Dre song that they made, that Dr. Dre gave to Tupac. The rest is history, word? Definitely A&R Koch, I believe that. Because he has the ear for this music stuff, man. I give Jimmy that credit. He has ears for the music stuff, man. He's an A&R, but him still want to be attached to the street, I think pulls people away because some of the guys that you're cool with get caught up in these crimes. So I don't know why these labels pull back from him. He has the ear. You sit Jimmy down and let him do this A&R work, New York will win. We'll be back. He has an ear for this. Him trying to be nice and fine in time, it's not the time for that. Him trying to be nice and fine in time, like, yo, son, I get better in time. Nobody cares. Look at 50 Cent. He's the hottest guy in Hollywood right now. 50 Cent is not going to go 5 platinum. You know what I mean? People are like buy his music, but we're not doing that with 50. It's the same thing with Nas. We love Nas. What helped Nas' last album out? Was that everybody was beefing about Jay-Z trying to drop a project out with Nas. He's hating on him. So Nas streams went up because people weren't looking for it. Just like the Verses. The Verses is Jadakiss streams is all the way up because of the memes and these people that, you know what I'm saying? So you got people listening to old Jadakiss that wasn't even born when Jadakiss dropped. The new plugin is the new Source Magazine SXL by YouTube. And not one person dominates it. It's everybody. The blogger with 1 follower to a blogger with 1,000 followers. To a blogger to 100,000 followers. These are the people that's creating and owning the narrative of what hip-hop is. They're giving other people, oh, so let me check out this guy. Let me check out Jim Jones now. Oh, man. We know what you're doing, Wack. You're using the media. And you're going to win. You know why? Because somebody's going to come and go, yo, you know what? I see where Wack is coming from and, yo, boom. He's taking something that's local and made it international. You know where he got that from? I can tell you who he got that from. He learned from Suge Knight, but he learned a hell of a lot from DJ K-Slay. K-Slay is a great mentor. K-Slay is a guy that used to write graffiti, DJ and graffiti when hip-hop first was created. He was God body. I don't know if he was part of the Zulu Nation. He might have been, but he was one of the original. He's a guard. He's been going to jail since the beginning. He was famous in graffiti. Got on with the DJ shit. And check it. Prime example. You had J.J. Slade from Around My Way. That was the movement, the Slayer movement. He used to hit the beat J.J. Slade from Around the Way. What happened? K-Slade was his man. K-Slade used to DJ from here and there. K-Slade seen something in that movement. He didn't bite. He just seen, yo, people gravitate to that slogan. K-Slade from Around, J. Slade from Around the Way. So what did he do? Shout out, rest in peace, J.J. Slade. You know what I'm saying? From Washington projects, from my projects, actually, Lexington, but from Ward had ties to Washington and ties to Carver projects. Rest in peace to his brother Poodle, who also had ties to Carver projects and Washington projects in East Harlem. So what did K-Slade do? K-Slade took it to the top. He started DJ at the clubs. He started making mixtapes. K-Slade from Around the Way. And just that monologue worked. K-Slade from Around the Way. And then he got his one shot. And then what he did? Street sweepers, DVDs, CDs, He paid attention. He started making connections with the bootleggers. Boom. Then he stepped his game up at the magazine. In the mix of that, he's produced albums. He's on Shade 45. That means he's involved with Eminem at least. He's in the mix. He's on Hot 97. So you don't think Wack paid attention to that? How did you take something that was local and made it, and you took it international? Because it wasn't nothing that, it was something that was hood based that I watched and paid attention to and see that this can be something. And he did it. And what definitely took KC over the top was he kept winning those mixtapes, those Justo mixtapes, and then he allegedly slapped flames out of DJ Punchy P, whatever his name is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That worked for him. You know what I'm saying? Him going out with DJ Clue, but nobody cares about that because K-Slay ain't a mixtape blend type of individual. I'm not saying he can't do it. He just don't pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And that's what Wack probably was getting his education from. Yo, you got to take stuff sometime that's local and take it internationally. You're talking about a local group that's mad at him. Don't make it a New York thing. That's our local group that's mad. You know, you don't think there was dudes that was mad that K-Slay was saying J? You don't think dudes was mad about K-Slay saying he was K-Slay and not J-Slay in the beginning? The hate, like you call it, the haters. I was even one. When they had MySpace, yo, you fucking had, and then he said something to me that was real. Yo, bro, I wasn't bothering y'all when y'all was getting money. I was doing me. And then he also said to me, yo, I love East Harlem. But I took something that was local and I seen something and took it international. So I don't care about what a small group of y'all are saying about me. Who cares? You know what he did that week I was going at him? He interviewed Aguilar. That's Aguilar was popping. He DJ Shice Bobs. He interviewed Lord Tariq. Yo, what I done for y'all? Yo, K-Slay, you overdosed to me. Yo, you did this to me. You did that for me. So now I'm looking stupid. Like, yo, I'm saying that he stole something when he's actually making money off this shit. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? Oh, bro. Shout out to MySpace. Can't forget about MySpace. You heard? And with that being said, man, I hope this was a great tutorial. I hope I was able to bring this show a little bit of clarity to what I think is going on, what I feel. Shout out to Hocus45. Shout out to What's Your Jakin podcast. Shout out to Smitty Brim. Who else you want to talk about? Who else you want to bring a shout out to? No Chicago, you already know, always for the support. You know what I'm saying? From the Midwest, he know. While we was playing Twisted in New York. He from Chicago. Twisted was already big. Shout out to DJ Red Alert and DJ Biz and them that was playing that in the clubs. It's about late 90s in Albany, New York. Club Clayton. Shout out to the ghetto dwellers. The cellar dwellers and the dweller sellers in Brooklyn used to come through, man. I'm giving y'all, my cousin was a big party promoter. I remember the music in Chicago was from New York, Crucial Conflict. I remember when Mac 10 had a record deal, a major record deal. He signed some dudes out of Chi-Town, Crucial Conflict and all of them, the CCs. Yo, who remember that era? Crucial Conflict and all of them, you know what I'm saying? This is around the time when Master P creeped up on the scene. This is when you had Puritan Records. Puritan Records was some guys out of Detroit who I found out years later in a DVD or a magazine that these dudes was from the block where Big Meech and them come from, the hood that they come from. Puritan Avenue and all that, you know what I mean? These dudes used to have pub promotion in The Source before Master P started buying 30 pages of advertisement in there. You know what I'm saying? This is how much The Source meant to us. We used to buy it every month, subscriptions. Then XXL came out. Then it was like a competition thing, but we still love The Source. Shout out to Benzino, man. David Mays, you know what I'm saying? But that was the blogging back then. Not everybody blogs. So now shout out to that. With that being said, let me get to work. Let me get to this bag. I appreciate y'all, you heard? We're gonna keep rising to the top together. You see how now that I have more time, my lives are more relaxed, and I can get more into the information that I remember or I was around, because I was around a lot of stuff. I've been around radio DJs, hanging out at radio stations, seeing magazines. There's behind the scene hip hop magazines of the charts and how to get on the charts. This is before all this digital stuff. Definitely shout out to my man CL from DigiWax, the first person to put me on to Mims. Before Mims blew up, that was his artist. He was promoting them when CL, if you're involved with the music industry, CL at that time before Elektra disbanded, he was the head of promotions, the head of marketing there. I met him with my man Chris Cool. That's when they was pushing that Fabulous mixtape. And they had Mims do a couple of shows with Fabulous in the Midwest. So Mims already had a voice in the Midwest before he blew up in New York. A lot of people may not even know that, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the chat, man. This was an educational moment. How I know? I was with my man at the record label, DJ Chris Cool. And then when they started doing, before they merged, they were doing 66 Raw on XM Radio. Leo G, Miss Kitty, remember that? I knew Leo G already because he used to be in Albany on SUNY on Siena College Radio. He used to DJ for my cousin sometime. He brought my man Chris Cool along. He had a show on that too. DJ Leo G. Google that. Why don't y'all Google Leo G? Yeah, 66 Raw. Then when Sirius and XM collaborated, they shut that down, and basically Shade 45 became that. One of the channels. Yeah. I was around there. I remember I went to a party in D.C. and they were celebrating, I think, his birthday party in D.C. And when I went there, this had to have been 07. They brought the Outcast and the Dipset there, like Freaky Zeke, J.R. Ryder, and the rest of them was there. And they performed at his birthday party. This guy was cool with the Killer Rats guys. He was promoting heavy on his station, that Killer Rats movement. You know what I'm saying? Definitely shout out to UFO Feeve. Shout out to Fat Joe for doing their thing in Europe a couple of days ago. With that being said, man, we out here. We in the streets. I'm calm. Everything is calm. Let's relax. Let's get to the bag. Have a great day. You know what you're doing, Wack. Well, I know what you're doing. Y'all think what you want to think. I'm just going off a past experience for what I seen happen, and it's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? Because once you get to say, people just say F Jimmy, then they're going to start saying F the movement and F them dudes and, yo, we love, you know what I'm saying? Let's give them a chance. Leave it in the comments. When was the last time you heard them really bring up Tupac's why he went to jail as a negative thing about him? Heavily. Only people that do that is like Funk Flex and this guy. And Wack, actually. You know what I'm saying? Not too many rappers talk crazy about Pac. They love Pac. That being said, man, salute, Stephanie Smitty Brim, Wifey Southern Belle, everything Westside St. Louis, everything in the Midwest, Chicago, you already know. You know what I'm saying? It's always in the building, show everybody support, and that's what this thing's about, show everybody support, man. My man, let's talk about it, Mr. Sex Money 252. Let me salute to Hocus45 for writing that comment. I appreciate y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is real. This is real talk. I come to every day. It's Gina, y'all support everything, man. Shout out to my man Money D out there from Chi-Town. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Definitely Cloud Chaser from Chi-Town. You know what I'm saying? I met a bunch of good people online, man. You know what I'm saying? Smitty Brim sends me a lot of information. You know what I'm saying? And I'll put it out here now. That being said, man, I appreciate y'all. 21 gun salute to all the real rights, man. I definitely am going to get another one with him. I got to do another battle with him anyway. He told me up on the battle on IG. Follow man, do you, heard? We do this for the culture and the people, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to the locks, man. Rest in peace, Soldier. Rest in peace, Edson. You know what I'm saying? Yo, work. That being said, peace.